I'm Blubinaka. My name is Eve Nangio, and I'm from Lovoni in Ovalau, and I'm the representative for the Fiji Disabled People's Federation Youth Committee. Thank you.
Do you want to be a decision maker?
Yes, sure. I want to be a decision maker in my home, community, organization, and ultimately in Parliament, to be the first deaf member of Parliament.
So, how was your experience of voting?
Unfortunately, I did not vote for reasons beyond my control. However, I was impressed with the amount of civic education conducted to educate people on their right to vote and the voting process, hence an increased participation from the community. I was also the official translator, translating information concerning the voting process using mainstreaming video. This was actually very effective in terms of educating the deaf on the voting process. I was also happy that the needs of people with disability were considered. The election office held consultations with disabled people's organization to be educated on how to assist people with disability in voting.
What do you want your 2018 experience to be?
I want all information relayed via mainstreaming media to be accessible for all. Example, for the deaf community, all information needs to be translated into sign language. The second thing is, I would like to see more awareness and education training for polling officers on how to assist people with disabilities. And the disabled people's organizations themselves can facilitate these awareness and education sessions. Thirdly, I would like to see the disabled people's organization to be more active in educating their members on the existing political parties and what they have to offer, voting rights, and voting processes. It would also be good to see the disabled people's organization to invite political parties to present to people with disabilities so that they can independently make informed decisions on whom they want to vote for. This is an example of empowerment for people with disability.
So Parliament meets in July. What do you want them to do when they meet?
I want Parliament to talk about issues that are affecting the people, and not trivial issues like the change of the flag.
What are your top 3 national budget priorities?
Number 1, access to infrastructure and information. Number 2 is provision of support services for people with disabilities. For example, providing interpreters for deaf students in the education system, providing caregivers and support workers for people with high support needs. And the third one is more scholarships for women and people with disability to further their education.
Okay, my name is Lawin Doa. I'm 30 years old and I'm from the Emerging Leaders Forum Alumni.
So, do you want to be a decision maker?
Yes, I would like to be a decision maker. Who doesn't want to be? Well, for me, I would like to be a decision maker more to the career that I'm driving towards to be. So the career I'm right now in is in sales and marketing. So maybe one day I'd like to head like a big corporation for marketing. So yeah.
What was your experience of voting last year?
It was an emotional time. I voted in was it the 2006? Was that the one before? So I voted in that one. I found it really easy where you didn't have to go and register for it. So the 2014 one, you had to go and register, then go through all that. So I found the process a bit like, it just took too much, like just to go and just do a simple, like for voting, yeah.
For the next elections in 2018, what do you want it to be like?
Yeah, maybe for
process?
2 days voting. I think for more people to, because it was just a one-day voting where everybody had to go to their respective places. And I think for the last one, you had to go to where you were registered to vote. Well, as the previous one, you just had to go to the nearest location where you could. So maybe like it should be made easier. I think the 2006, the other one that I first voted in, was much easier.
As Parliament meets, in July 1st, what do you want them to do, or how do you want them to do it?
I think they should be focusing more on important issues like women issues and stuff. Like normally, like now when I turn on the TV and watch what Parliament's talking about, they're just like, it's just, I feel like it's just nonsense. It's not like they're not doing what they're supposed to do.
What are your top 3 national budget priorities?
Healthcare. Another one would be education. Did you see on luxury items? Did you say something about the...
Pads are considered a luxury item.
Yeah, that one. That's the one.
So you want them to look at the luxury item tag?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's ridiculous, the prices. Yeah.
I'm Lisa from Fiji Disabled People's Federation.
Do you want to be a decision maker?
Sure, of course. Why not?
So what kind of decision maker do you want to be?
At all levels. Everything begins at home. I want to be a decision maker at home and participate throughout at all levels as well. Because I believe in that the decisions that's made from the top level also affects our lives inside our home as well. Yes.
So did you vote last year?
I did.
How was it?
It was a nerve-wracking experience because it was my first time. It wasn't really accessible. They did provide a ramp and I was assisted by climbing up the stairs as well. The area where the voting was done in my area was quite alright, but it wouldn't be accessible to a person with wheelchair. Yes.
So for 2018, what do you want voting to be like?
A space that's accessible for all persons with disability to be able to get in freely and get out in time also. Yes.
As Parliament meets, what do you want them to do?
I'd like them to see more on the perspective of assisting persons with disability. There have been a lot of things that the government have placed to assist us persons with disability, but then again, not all persons with disabilities have access to it because of the different types of disabilities that we individually acquire or we are born with.
So what are your top 3 national budget priorities?
We have a budget priority that's provided for students with disabilities at high education level regarding tertiary, getting into tertiary institutions and all. But this budget is actually limiting what we would like to learn more and build our capacity on, and it's something I would like the government to relook at and actually make some amendments to actually expand our capacity and our development stage. Secondly would be the accessibility to most public places, as well as the hospitals, the health centers, not only in the rural areas, but also down. Am I confusing? Because the rural areas is here. Yes, also down to the smaller areas, down to the community level where they get to visit the village nurses and all. That could be made accessible to persons with disability too. The main concern right now is just providing this whole accessibility thing and seeing that persons with disability are able to access them, the necessities that would help enhance their lives, as well as build the capacity and their development.
Do you want to be a decision maker at what level or where?
Yes, depends on what position I am, because I can't be a decision maker with the elders. Depends on our family background and the rules of the family. If it's in the public, I have to see where I stand. If I am given a chance to be a decision maker, it will be nice. It will be an honor to be.
So how was your experience in voting last year?
Great, I liked it. It was faster than the old one, and as me, a young woman, I feel that it was quite interesting, and we find it good, because I was in 2014, I was a assistant presiding officer.
What do you want your 2018 voting experience to be like?
More advanced in technology system, and maybe more easier. If I think as a young woman, the present one was good, but if we think whole of our country, then it can be more easier for the older ones and more easy and effective.
So has parliaments met? What do you want them to do?
First thing is that create more employment and more awareness, so that young women can get more approach into the parliament, and then other parts of the upper level in the government, and get more attention. The young women get more attention, and the roads in Fiji, and then the taxes and VETs we have to pay, and education-wise is good, and the medical fields.
Tell me, what are your 3 national budget priorities?
Number 1 is the infrastructure, number 2 is the health issues, and number 3 is the taxes and the VAT items.